coming out at the end of what I'm sure was a long Berkeley day for you all. First, I would like to first thank the organizers of this event, especially Jessica Smith and Aaron Platt, Professor Brown, Dean Edley, Dr. Dusky, and just all of you for making this opportunity for conversation possible today. So my remarks are emerging from my perspective as a graduate student instructor here in the final year of my degree. In my time here, I have taught courses in rhetoric, composition, research methods, and acting. My students come from across this campus. 4 of them are here with us right now. They're from the sciences, they're from Haas Business School, from the social sciences, from the humanities. Working with this cross-section of our campus's intellectual life shapes my development as a teacher and a researcher. So while I speak from within a humanities department, my experiences are not limited to working only with these students. I also want to make it clear that today that I'm not making an argument against online education carte blanche. I think that it does have a place in people's lives with certain needs, and I agree with Dr. Dusky on that. I'm rather engaging in a dialogue with the specific plans for the UC Cyber Campus, which Dean Edley has remarked that that's his language, his baby, but that has been the language that has been going around for the past about year and a half. And I want to consider what a future online BA would mean. So today I'm going to focus on seeking answers about the implications of the UC Cyber Campus for the labor of graduate students, lecturers, and professors, posing questions about the future of pedagogical training for UC graduate students if our labor is largely directed towards supporting the UC Cyber Campus. Serving also as an advocate for a vision of student experience on UC system campuses that recognizes the range and diversity of student activities, in addition to classroom instruction. These form an integral part of a UC education, and I want to ask seriously what happens when we delete these experiences from what it means to graduate from our university. In versions of the plan that have been circulated thus far, there's been an emphasis, as Dean Edley said, on high-touch interaction, including but not limited to online GSI sections, office hours, online chat rooms, discussion boards, desktop webinars, and video conferences. So some of these methods are already widely applied and are vital tools for enhancing our classroom instruction. However, I want to focus first on the logistics of specifically the online GSI sections and office hours in relationship to feasibility and workload. So as Dean Edley said, the goal of UC Cyber Campus and online courses provides maximum flexibility for working and other students. It has been called asynchronous, but there's also this reference to online GSI sections. So is this to be a live online session? Is this to be interactive? And how are instructors going to be asked to deal with these differing schedules? Now, if that experience is not interactive and cannot accommodate a shared experience between students, rather only between individual and GSI, high production values aside, that still seems close to the model of the camcorder in the back of the classroom, even if students' questions are being directly engaged with, even if there's instant messaging. So I would like to learn more about that, and also to ask what happens between the shared experience between students. Even today in my classroom, one person's question sparks off 10 other observations, and we get somewhere that I can't anticipate in my lesson plan. If the classroom instruction is asynchronous, and or just how can 20 people be responding to one another when separated that way, it seems to me we lose something. And also, the talk of desktop conferencing, I would like some clarification on, because I'm wondering how it's possible to imagine 20 or more students simultaneously present with each other from disparate locations, even through video conferencing. So we never get back to those 17 students in a classroom. I'm also wondering how the flexibility of scheduling for students' contact with material impact on GSI, lecturer, and professor support. It can take 4 emails to resolve a simple question or a 20-minute office hours appointment, as Dr. Dusky pointed out, to clarify something. And what is going to happen when, as Bob Samuels, a UCLA writing instructor, has observed of his own experience, quote, online instructors have to be on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, due to students' varying schedules and staggered contact with the material. Furthermore, if in the future graduate student labor in particular is heavily directed towards implementing these set courses for online instruction, What happens to our own pedagogical training in designing courses, being in those classroom sections? This makes us competitive on the job market and shapes our own intellectual development. How will it look if our experience with classroom teaching has been limited mainly to online environments? And what does this say about the value of our workers in the context of this university? Dean Edley's controversial remark about making use of, quote, a squadron of GSIs who will be the front line of online contact managed by the instructor of record registered for many as blatant disregard for the extent and quality of labor done by GSIs on this campus, who are not a disposable and interchangeable workforce, but students at the top of their field, many of whom have been actively recruited by this university. Beyond even my perspective as a GSI, I wonder what it means that we will be investing large amounts of money in creating online courses as excellent as on-campus courses with specially tailored supporting technologies to the tune of $50,000 or more per course, but have not articulated clear plans about how these courses are going to change or evolve over time with advancements, constant advancements in various fields, or how intellectual property issues will be handled, a big issue on other campuses, according to my colleagues. The scenarios here do not sound promising to me. If these courses are so expensive to create, how easy will they be to change? Will professors relinquish all rights to the course to the university after creating the course? Or will these courses only ever change through the permission of its original creator years down the line? With references in the long-range Cyber Campus plan to exploring relationships with partners to distribute these courses after the successful pilot program to community colleges, for-profit universities, foreign universities, and textbook publishing companies, I have to ask who is profiting from this, financially, intellectually. I agree with Dean Edley that in the most utopic version of this scenario, more students gain access to knowledge across class, racial, and even national boundaries. But more likely, a few people may profit a great deal, whereas wider efficacy will remain unclear. In another 2009 Los Angeles Times editorial, Dean Edley mused that, quote, our online students might miss the keg parties, but they would have the same world-class faculty, UC graduate students, instructors, and adjunct faculty. Now, while this comment, of course, was no doubt meant as a joke, Dean Edley nonetheless erases UC experiences that extend beyond our classrooms, shape our students' lives, and often prepare them for the next step in their careers through giving them extensive practical applications for their interests and skills. Undergraduates lead professional service and activist organizations, teach decals, participate in fine and performing arts groups, play athletics, and organize and attend public talks from leaders in various fields. This list does not even include the work of our network of minority-led student groups and centers engaged in community support, advocacy, and cultural events. The UC Cyber Campus Plan, as thus far articulated, divides the bricks and mortar students from the cyber students. And it does so precisely by presumably denying those students access to these components of a UC education. After all, if cyber students were going to be allowed equal access to our facilities, services, and student life on campus, wouldn't this necessitate the bricks and mortar expansion presumably avoided through this plan? Associate Professor Christy Boring in 2009 expressed a fear that, quote, online but equal will go the way of separate but equal in terms of being an educational failure. I share those same fears, and I have yet to hear how our future admitted students will be divided between the bricks and mortar and virtual UC. Will those with the higher grades be admitted to our hallowed grounds? Will students self-select? Or will we do a lottery? The language of excellence, not exclusivity, access, and social justice suffuses pitches for this plan, but it is difficult to conceive for me how what we will be selling online can conscionably be billed as an identical or comparable experience to our so-called bricks and mortar education. The education we give here is not ultimately valued or achieved only through feeding students information for regurgitation, as Dr. Dusky so beautifully articulated. This can not only be a measurable outcome for assessment. Rather, a UC education comprises multiple elements. The classroom achievement first and foremost, but participation in student groups and athletics as well, and access to services such as our disabled student programs. These experiences expand the information our students take in through their classwork, and to take these opportunities away and call this experience of UC education seems to me it might degrade what it is we have to give and cheat the students we are selling it to of a more substantial experience. We can strive for excellence here in the plans for the UC Cyber Campus, and I appreciate the hard work many are doing towards this goal, but it seems exclusivity threatens to still police the borders of who is online and who is off. Thank you.